Hello and welcome. I'm your host, William Liu. This is the Raptors Reaction Podcast presented by Betway for all your sports betting activities. Hit the QR code that you see here on the screen and go with friends of the program. Betway, you can also follow the link that you see in the description of this episode. Raptors lose tonight in Milwaukee, 130 to 112. Not a lot of takeaways from this one. The main takeaway is just the Raptors had nothing for Milwaukee. I think defensively, the Raptors, who foul a ton, who don't have a lot of size, really struggled against Milwaukee. Last game, what they did was they were doubling Giannis so heavily in the post. They held Giannis to a really quiet night offensively, but Milwaukee torched the Raptors from three. Tonight, Raptors played Giannis a little bit more straight up, and Giannis, in a night where it didn't even feel like, he was obviously great. He's Giannis, right? But the guy had 35 points, 12 rebounds, dunked the ball like 7-8 times, lived at the foul line, went to the foul line 18 times. Him and Dame Lillard went to the foul line combined 28 times. I don't want to hear anything about like, the foul calls and this and that. No. This is not a their names are kind of game. Like this is a Raptors cannot guard the Bucks type of game. And I think that's kind of the long and the short of it. I think Milwaukee's size certainly gave the Raptors a ton of issues. Dame really got going early on. Didn't help that Davion struggled to begin the game. He got better as the game went on, took a couple of moving screens. He did take back-to-back moving screens on a Dame Brook Lopez pick and roll. But yeah, ultimately, man, Milwaukee just got whatever they wanted. They got, wide open threes. They knocked them down. I think the one thing watching the Raptors is like, at least they were kind of in the game. Like they were in the game enough for Matt Devlin to say like they're right there, which in today's terms kind of means down like 10 points in the fourth quarter. That's when you'll go to the line. And, you could kind of tell that Milwaukee was just kind of like, yeah, we can beat these guys, no problem. Let's just kind of like sleepwalk through the entire second half. And that's not to say that like the Raptors didn't play better offensively in the second half, because Milwaukee came out of this game really sharp defensively, and that's when you saw the Raptors. I think they were down 16-3 to start the game. And the only basket was a Davion Mitchell and one. So like obviously their options, their main ones of Scotty, of RJ, of Grady, those were not hitting at all to start the game. And you could definitely see how Milwaukee's size was shutting down everything. But, at least in the third quarter, the Raptors were able to sort of like take it strong. They played more free-flowing offensively. Again, the Bucks were pretty comfortable. They were in the driving seat the whole time. They led by double digits pretty much the entire night and never really even got under 10 after the start of the game. So, it was kind of a really easy one. I think on that sense, I did at least like a couple of things that I saw tonight. If we're going to focus on the positives, I really liked RJ's playmaking. RJ, in the first game against Milwaukee, when they were in Milwaukee, that was a real struggle. Raptors were on that 6-game road trip. I think they lost all 6. The last one was Milwaukee, and the Raptors, that was in-season tournament too, but the Raptors, I think, struggled to crack like 80 points. Like it was definitely their lowest total of the year, and RJ was a big factor in that one. Just like could not get to the basket. That was probably his worst game of the year. Tonight, I actually thought he did a really good job adjusting. Like, going all the way to the hoop at times was difficult for him outside of transition because of the fact that Brook Lopez was just living around the hoop, and of course that is a huge deterrent. You saw multiple Raptors turn down shots around the basket, but I think RJ was probably the best one at touching the paint and making a play. He also had 10 assists, which I think is a huge credit to his ability to draw a second defender in the paint and then make, quick reads and the right reads tonight, 10 assists. And a lot of those were like in pretty tight quarters, made some really good feeds. I think it's pretty important for RJ to be able to be effective kind of regardless of the matchup. Certainly there's going to be, certain teams, depending on the way they want to play and stuff like that, they're going to take away some of his strengths. And of course, we all know what RJ wants to do. He wants to go, downhill and stuff. But first half, he at least kept himself in the game by making 3 threes and drawing a foul. So I think he had like double digits heading into the second half. And then second half, he was able to score a little bit more free flowing. Raptors played a lot better just as a unit. They played faster. Again, none of this made a difference in the game, but I did like RJ's playmaking in this one. 21 points, 10 assists for RJ in 29 minutes. Again, it didn't really affect the outcome of the game, but in the moments where the Raptors actually looked good offensively, it was pretty much just RJ Barrett leading that charge. I also really like Kelly coming off the bench, and evidently Darko did too, because you saw a shift early in the third quarter where Kelly was the first sub in for Jakob. The Raptors started the third quarter really out lackadaisical. Like, it was only a 14-point game at halftime. Like one hard push, you force the Bucks into calling a timeout. It's much more competitive from there. But unfortunately, the Raptors came out of halftime with zero intensity. Here are some of the plays that took place right out of halftime. Scottie Barnes lets Giannis score twice in a row, going straight to the basket. Then the next play down, Ryan Rollins is driving in transition, and even though he's much smaller and Scotty's in position, Scotty just decides not to challenge for this shot, and Ryan Rollins goes in for a layup. That's what prompted Darko to call that timeout. You also had during that stretch offensively, Davion Jakob both reaching in for like silly reach-in fouls on the same play in the span of like 5 seconds. Both times were clear fouls. That just did not need to happen. And then offensively, Grady took a shot that was way too quick. Jakob even took an early push shot. Like, you rarely see Jakob taking bad shots, but a Jakob Poeltl push shot that was contested from 17 feet with like 15 on the shot clock is not a good shot. So like the Raptors came out of the third quarter with no intensity, but Darko actually did change it up, and he did put Kelly Olynyk in for Jakob Poeltl. I mean, look, you're down 20, do what you need, right? So he switched it up, and I did think that like Kelly actually played. Well, I mean, he played his best game of the season tonight. Again, it did not matter, but he actually had a really nice game off the bench. 15 points in 19 minutes for Kelly Olynyk. It helped that he knocked down a couple threes in his first shift, because I think that really kept the defense a lot more honest. At that point, he was able to sort of like roll to the basket a couple times, the usual. He had a putback right at the end of the first half buzzer. That he actually had 2 offensive rebounds or 1 offensive rebound tonight, which for Kelly these days, obviously he's not really moving that well. So he was a factor, and I think the stretching and the space, as a floor stretching 5 who can move the ball as well, it was more needed in this matchup. Again, anything you can do to pull one of Milwaukee's bigs away from the hoop, the better you're going to do, because Brook Lopez was shutting down the paint. It was making it really difficult for Scotty to get all the way to the basket. Grady couldn't really get all the way to the basket. Outside of his little daredevil scoop shots, which kind of only go in half the time because they're so hard to make. RJ, again, like, he was effective, but still wasn't like always living at the rim as he typically would. So I think Kelly actually was able to showcase his skill set tonight, right? Which is just it's just a bit of a relief, really, because we know that Kelly has not looked good this season. We know that he obviously missed the first month and a half of the season with a back issue. When he did come back, I even asked Kelly, like, is this a thing you're going to deal with all the time? And he's like, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, he certainly was still feeling it. So it's kind of a day-to-day thing. That was a couple weeks ago now. So maybe next time I see Kelly, I'll ask him again if his back's feeling better. But generally speaking, he actually played pretty well tonight. And especially with the trade deadline coming up, a lot of scouts are watching all of these kind of games. And I'm not saying that Kelly Olynyk's the number 1 name on the market or anything like that. But you do know that the Raptors are likely, if teams are able to come in and make like a suitable offer. Like, we're not looking for anything crazy. It's a pretty modest offer that, we're looking for here. It is kind of important for these vets to sort of play well, and at least showcase like why they have value. And obviously we know what Kelly has done in this league. We know what a guy like Bruce Brown, who also played really well tonight with 17 points off the bench. He made a couple of quick drives to the basket, just pretty decisive, a couple cuts going to the rim, a couple of corner threes, like, even occasionally, taking a one-on-one, going to the basket, drawing a foul here or there. Like, it's kind of a classic Bruce Brown game. But even just seeing these guys play up to their potential, I think more than anything else, like, it maybe just assuages like a little bit of, okay, it reassures people that, yes, if you are going to trade for these guys, that they are still fit and able to contribute. Because, like, these are skilled players who have credentials in this league. So the best thing I would say from tonight is just that, yes, the Raptors lost. But at the same time, at least they're vets who are likely on the trade block. Those guys all played pretty well. Chris Boucher also did pretty well as well. Did knock down the 3, but did everything else. Even made an extra pass to RJ in the corner. I thought that was really nice. Unfortunately, the Raptors missed that too. But he did, hustle and make a couple plays, catch a couple lobs, all that kind of stuff that you typically expect from Chris. So your vets played well. I think more than anything else, like, the other part that's promising is on a game like tonight, of course, you got to look at the bright side. And of course, the silver lining of every loss is that Raptors do move a little higher in the tank rankings. New Orleans, with Zion back, they were able to beat Utah. So, I mean, that's still a slight positive, I suppose. Although Utah's that's kind of a lose-lose scenario because Utah, you're going to be competing with them at the end of the tank too. And of course, Charlotte beat Chicago, which says a lot about the Bulls, I suppose. But still, yeah, I think the Raptors obviously at this point certainly need some talent infusion. You watch a game like this, it's like how easily does Dame Lillard score? How easily does Giannis impose himself on the game? The Raptors just don't have that. Like, we got to play like intricate. We got to get the right center and screen and this and this. And, a couple things got to happen, a couple defensive breakdowns. And it's just like, ultimately, you're like, man, like, you're just fighting uphill the whole time. Of course, and Milwaukee's not even a guarantee to go anywhere. Like, when you watch a game like this, you're not still ultimately that impressed with the Milwaukee Bucks by any means. But still, yeah, the silver lining is that, yes, the Raptors do improve than the lottery odds. And that's why, like, the Raptors did obviously win their last 2 games here against a Golden State team that, quite frankly, looked terrible. And then they beat Boston, which was the win of the year. And of course, we got really excited about that. And I remember one of the questions we got asked was like, is the tank over? Like, are the Raptors getting healthier and they're like too good to tank? I was like, you know what? I'm not that worried. I mean, and that's not to sort of put down the Raptors, but I think there's like a very, very realistic ceiling as to sort of what this team can do. And even when you look at some of these games right now, some of their best contributors are their older players. And of course, like, it doesn't mean the younger players can't come in and give you a decent game, but realistically, there's just not enough in the mix to consistently win. I mean, again, they're now 1-9. They're 1-20 on the road. Is there 1-19 or 1-20? They're 1-19 on the road, on their way to being 1-20 on the road. And again, the one win that they had was against New Orleans Pelicans when they were grabbing people off the street to play for them. So yeah, like, I think. I don't know. Like, would you really be that surprised if the Raptors finished with like 5 or less wins on the road this season, right? Especially based on the way they sort of played. I mean, their defense obviously doesn't really travel. And then offensively, like, it's not that difficult to sort of like slow them down. I think obviously one of the big talking points out of a game like this, if you choose to be cynical, is obviously that Scottie, had a really difficult time scoring. 10 points on 4 of 16 shooting, repping the 4-1-6. No way. No. But, yeah, 0 of 6 from 3 as well. Couldn't really get the mid-range game to drop. I think he made one on the baseline, but otherwise was really struggling with that shot. Moments where he sort of turned down shots around the basket as well. Seemed like he really wasn't trying to go that strong at the hoop. Certainly wasn't able to really draw free throws either. Only 2 of 2 from the foul line. You would obviously like to see that number go up higher for Scottie, because if you're going to live in the mid-range, you definitely need to get some free throws to supplement your efficiency. You look at a guy like DeMar DeRozan. You look at a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And of course, they're way more offensively polished than Scottie is, especially with the scoring package. Like, we're talking about like night and day difference. I don't care what the percentages are. Like, you just have to watch the game. But like, still, without those free throws, like, if you're mostly shooting mid-range, you might have to shoot like 50-60% to even be approaching league average based on sort of how efficient, the league now is with the 3 balls. So Scottie couldn't really get his offense going. I think that kind of bled over to just his overall frustration was kind of like a big theme in this game. Like, defensively, he struggled against Giannis. We've seen him have good games against Giannis. Just look at the last time the Raptors played Milwaukee. Again, that game, the Raptors still like got blown out, so it didn't make a difference, but at least I thought Scottie's defense individually on Giannis was good. Tonight was not that. I mean, I thought Giannis got the best of him a couple of times. Giannis also, was getting a nice whistle, but again, like, the Raptors just couldn't contain him. Like, I'm not going to make any excuses. And you can see the frustration, and you can see Scottie starting to make mistakes. There was a play in the end of the first half where Scottie was pressed up really, really high on Dame, like riding Dame, and had his hand on his hip and kind of pushed him. And Dame obviously knows how to draw a foul. Like, it's not the first time he's been pressed up on. And obviously, you press up on Dame, like, he's got a great handle. You're not exactly going to strip him, and he knows how to draw fouls, and he's a good driver too, and he's a good pull-up shooter. Like, you're actually kind of putting yourself in jail if you choose to be that close to Damian Lillard on purpose. But Scottie was sort of playing his usual, over-aggressive defense and trying to pressure. Dame draws the foul, and it's the end of the second quarter there. And Scottie's upset. He's like super upset. He's like campaigning to the referee. He's campaigning to his team. And that's where Darko looked at it and he was like, all right, I guess I'll use the challenge. And now it's like, I mean, on the play, you already know it's a foul. There's clear contact. Even the broadcast, which, if you listen to the broadcast tonight, they were certainly very much like, we're going to carry a strong positive line. Like, Alvin was really, really peddling some good things for the team. And honestly, like, that's their job. Like, I can't even blame them. My point is, though, on a night where the broadcast was very, very positive, even they were like, yeah, they're not likely to win this challenge. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even like a debate. Like, it just was, and it was so quick because like they went to commercial and they came out of commercial after like 2 commercials. Like, they were like, nah. Even the referees are like, nah, that's not even close. And whatever. Again, like the Raptors game did not come down to like a challenge here or there, but it just felt like Darko was like, all right, I'm gonna try to rush the defensive Scotty again, right? That's obviously his go-to move, but like, I don't know, like it's a clear foul, it's a defensive mistake, and you're also throwing away your challenge. Again, it doesn't make a difference, but I think the overarching pattern is that like, yes, we will, if Scotty asks for something, Darko is going to say yes to it. And I think, that's maybe okay in the long run, in the sense that, like, of course you want to back a guy. He's obviously got the most difficult job most nights. Tonight he's got to guard Giannis, then he's got to score. Tonight obviously couldn't really score or guard Giannis. But I think where that comes to bite you is if you look at Scotty's 5th foul, it was the same thing. He got up super tight on Dame and did the same thing, and Dame drew the foul again on him. And it's just like, you're now kind of like reinforcing something where it's like, the flip side is you could say like, you know what, I'm not going to back you on this because you clearly made a mistake and you fouled. And it's important that you don't give up your 3rd foul in the first half, because that limits how aggressive you can play in the second half, right? And I mean, who knows? I mean, I trust Scotty to be mature enough to not be like, okay, well, I'm going to turn on my coach because he didn't back me on this. Like, no, sometimes you make a mistake as a player. Like, we watch a lot of games, a lot of coaches, like, get their players campaigning to them about challenging challenges. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. But yeah, regardless, like that was just like a mini play in the midst of it. And more importantly, he just couldn't really get his offense going. I think, especially in the mid-range game that he's been really, really heavily relying on. I mean, tonight he's getting guarded by Giannis. It's a lot harder to get that shot up over him. The Bucks obviously have a lot of great size and length. His playmaking was still good. I mean, 10 assists is nothing to scoff at. I think he did a really good job pushing the pace on that front. Defensively, I thought he was in the fight. Like, I know that like I'm harping on like not even harping, just pointing out the 2 sequences against Dame, but like, he did collect a couple loose balls. He had 2 steals, 2 blocks. But ultimately, yeah, you needed much more offensively. And I felt like, especially for the Raptors, like they needed way more offensively from 3. You could tell right away they couldn't really get to the basket that much. Even in the second half, when they got to the basket a little bit, that was good. But the separating factor for the Raptors was just they couldn't really threaten them from 3. Like, RJ was hot from 3 early in the first half, but ultimately he cooled off in the second half. There were sequences where the Raptors missed like 3 or 4 threes in a row on the same play that, you make one of those threes, again, you at least maintain some momentum, and maybe cut it down to single digits, and maybe, you hang around, but ultimately, yeah, the Raptors really couldn't offer much threat on that front. Grady, 0 for 5 from 3. That was difficult to see. Scotty 0 of 6 from 3. Obviously, Jakob's not going to shoot a 3, although I would love to see Jakob start shooting some 3s. I think I would just for pure entertainment purposes, please, Jakob Poeltl, let me see you shoot a 3. And yeah, I mean, Kelly gave you some spacing. Bruce actually did decently, but still, like, ultimately, the Raptors just didn't. If the Bucks are going to lock down the paint, you're going to need to knock down some 3s. And you just did not have that kind of threat at all tonight. So, long story short, Raptors obviously not in the same category as the Milwaukee Bucks, who have now swept the Raptors for the first time in over a decade. But yeah, I mean, you knew that coming out of the game, and you didn't really learn that much new in this game. So we're going to take a quick break. Wanted to hear your thoughts. By the way, we are streaming live on Twitter as well. Apparently you can now watch us on Twitter at Hello Welcome Pod. To all the people on X, what up? What's going on, man? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Of course, you're also able to tune in on YouTube as well. Leave your questions in the chat, because we will get to a lot of questions in the second half of this show. We're going to bring in co-host Alex Wong, producer Jerome Chang. We're just going to hang out. We're going to banter a little bit, because like ultimately Raptors lose, but it's still a nice little Friday night, and we're going to have a good time just chatting amongst ourselves. But first, we want to bring you a message from our beloved sponsor, and when we come back, let's take your questions.
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy.
Just recently hit the big 4-0. What about you, bro?
A little more recently 4-0, but we are both in the 40 club.
Let me tell you, man, being an adult really comes with its share of challenges.
Definitely. I think both you and I are homeowners, and I think we're both also dealing with mortgages in life.
Yeah, man. Mortgage rates, choosing the right terms, dealing with paperwork. It can be really overwhelming,
I still don't know how that works.
Well, listen, that's where our friends at Dominion Lending Centers come in, man. They make the whole process simple and stress-free. Whether you're renewing your mortgage, hunting for the best rates, or if you just need advice, they're here to help, bro.
you know what? I am looking for that advice, and I think that's why I'm going to visit www.dominionlending.ca.
Yeah, man. www.dominionlending.ca. Take the guesswork out of your mortgage and step into financial confidence with our friends at Dominion Lending by our side.
Okay, it is time now for the Tangerine Fan Inbox. And I gotta let you know that Tangerine is the official bank of the Toronto Raptors, foundational partner of the WNBA and NBA Canada. And of course, they're not just fans of basketball, they're fans of basketball. They're fans of fans who have their own nickname for each guy in the starting five, fans of fans who stand 5 inches from the TV all night, fans who can recreate every player's layup package while sitting on their couch. Shout outs to Davion Mitchell. He had 2 inside hand layups right around Ryan Rollins in the third quarter. If you saw that, you were a diehard fan. Anyway, if you're listening to this, there's no doubting your commitment. Fans like you are at the heart of what makes this game great. So this year, for the Raptors' 30th season, Tangerine is turning the spotlight from the court to the stands and celebrating the way Raptor fans support their team, because this is how we fan. To learn more, visit tangerine.ca/basketball. All right, let's bring in co-host Alex Wong. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, who the hell is Ryan Rollins, man?
Yo, no way, man. Is that a shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies?
Oh, we might talk some baseball after.
Oh, we talking baseball?
So not a lot of great questions tonight, but
Word?
we got a
Okay.
few, and then I got a little 6-pack for you. So let's see.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Here's one for you.
G. Shouts to G. What is this?
Is
Is this Gary Harris?
Is this G Money?
Is this Gary Harris from the most average team in the NBA?
Hey, did you hear? Did you hear? Zion Williamson got a new nickname today.
What is it?
I guess he showed up to practice, which is a plus. And
Great.
there was a photo of him in he got a goatee, so they call him Goatee Z.
That sounds so much like the now defunct streaming site that used to be out there. Shouts to
What?
Rest in peace, Go D. You carried me
Yeah.
all throughout
All right,
high school and college.
Question.
G asks, what is the main skill set missing from this team? Okay. The main skill set missing from this team is that like top tier shot creation. Damian Lillard obviously has that, right? Like the ability to score from all 3 levels, get this offense no matter what, force defenses to have to double team and trap them all the time. Or that physical, overwhelming factor of a Giannis Antetokounmpo, where there's not that much, and almost nobody in the league can sort of really stand him up one-on-one. Shouts to Kawhi Leonard though, back in 2019. That's what they're missing more than anything else, because offensively they're able to play great team basketball and they can move the ball all they want against most teams, though. Especially when you look at how talented the league is now. If you don't have that raw level of shot creation and that talent, that's where you're always going to struggle, and that's why the Raptors need to get some of that from this draft. Go watch a Ace Bailey highlight, go watch a Cooper Flag highlight reel. You'll understand. You'll understand, and Dylan Harper as well.
Cool. Speaking of the draft, here's a question.
This one from Owalabi. Question: with the upcoming draft pick likely being a redundant position, would that make RJ Barrett expendable? I think expendable is probably a little strong. The Raptors, how can I say this? The Raptors are not talented enough for anybody to be expendable. Like maybe our vets are expendable because, yeah, man. Listen, Kelly, Bruce Brown, you guys balled out tonight, man. Masai and Bobby, they are getting a video.
Out. Okay, man.
Masai and Bobby, they are getting the video
doing,
team to splice up these highlights, and they're sending them all over the league, man. By the way, I wonder if the league has like a league-wide like WhatsApp group or something. You know what I mean? Like where all 30 GMs are in that thing. Like,
sound like a telemarketer trying to run scams.
Balled
out.
That's what I need the front office to be doing. I need Bobby and Masai to be on the phones, be like, "Yo, you see that Bruce Brown had 17 off the bench?"
Hey, this is Bobby Webster from air duct cleaning.
No, the funniest
I heard you need Bruce Brown.
Yo, the funniest thing is Bobby always walks around with 2 phones like this. He just has like 2 phones, and he's just always walking around with 2 phones, bro. Who are you talking to?
There's no way. This guy made 2 deals.
Use those 2 phones and tell the streets that Kelly Olynyk is back. Okay, that back issue. What back issue, man? What I saw was him giving the Milwaukee Bucks issues with his 15 points off the bench tonight. Let the NBA world know. No, I think the Raptors are not talented enough for RJ Barrett to be expendable. I mean, most nights RJ Barrett is their most effective offensive player. Like most nights, like the Celtic game, for example, who led the Raptors in scoring, RJ. tonight, who was able to create and get into the paint for the Raptors, RJ. And of course, like, ideally you're gonna get a more talented shot creator on top of what RJ can bring you. But RJ's also shown you that he can score even in a secondary sort of position. And so whether that's gonna be Cooper or Dylan or Ace, eventually these guys will be good enough. And honestly, that will be a good problem when they become so good that they push someone like RJ Barrett out of the starting lineup. But yeah, offensively, they're gonna need RJ, man. I don't know what else to say. I think the Raps, they need RJ, man. I mean, basically, RJ doesn't score 30 points. The Raptors basically never win.
Yo, send in better questions, or I'm about to pull out the last 3 books I read. All right, Reginald?
Oh, yeah. Hell
What
yeah. We
else?
going to
Let's
the book
see.
club again? Next one from Alan. Darko has got to stop appeasing Scotty with these dumb challenges. I mean, how do I say this? Because I got in trouble saying it in maybe perhaps the wrong way. He's you can't take the position that Darko has taken and so strongly been in that position and not sort of like stay in that position the whole time. You know what I mean?
Like you're so dug in
yeah.
to saying yes to these challenges that you can't stop doing them now?
I mean, it's not just the challenges. It's like anything to do with Scotty. He's completely done.
Well,
Like,
forget about
Scotty's literally
forget about the
his number one fan
Darko
is Darko.
Scotty thing. It's just like, why are we challenging with like couple seconds left in the first half of games?
Yeah,
Like,
Darko does love a little like end of the
No,
first
but,
half challenge. Like,
like
it's pretty unique.
we there's no upside to it, and I don't think you need a mathematician or like 11 assistant coaches in the same outfit to know that. Like, I've seen this twice now. I think, like, I haven't been tracking his challenges
a couple
like
times.
that. Yeah, there's been a couple times. Like, I just we do need to be smarter with these challenges, and it's another one of those things where again, in a rebuilding season, it's easy to just say it doesn't matter because like a lot of things really don't matter.
Right.
But like, yeah, I would like us to be better at challenges.
By the way, I did get this message in the middle of the game because I tweeted out, "Do you think we were going to win this challenge?" Obviously, I was being facetious. Clearly, it was a clear break. But someone responded saying, "I think we need to find out who the assistant coach is that is in charge of the challenges. Pat Delaney is safe for now. We must shift our focus to firing the challenge assistant coach."
Oh my god! Yeah,
the witch hunt for the assistants is killing me.
Yeah, pitchfork updates tonight in the chat. There's really no pitchforks out for anybody tonight. I think.
Nah, I mean, bro, we're not even in the same league as Milwaukee. Bro. Like, we're technically in the same league as Milwaukee, but like, no, man, Milwaukee has smacked us all 3 times.
Yes, I believe this happened last time we were at Greta as well.
We were at Greta watching. Yeah, we had a live watch party.
I think that was an NBA Cup game. This is a question. I have a question.
Okay, great.
Why was the Bucks court just like spilling blue paint tonight? I legit went up to my TV. I thought my TV got smashed. You know when it gets smashed and it gets a little bit like messed up.
No, and then I think the virtual ads that
Sam McDaddy's ad was buried under the blue paint.
Yo, legit. Yeah, he was washing.
Sam McDaddy got to ask for like a 50% refund on that because you can't really see it under the blue paint.
I think this is what like the land of lakes kind of thing. Like there's a lot of lakes or something. I mean, they're on Lake Michigan.
Yeah,
I don't know. The jersey kind of looks like a Tide Pod to me. Like, it doesn't really look that clean. Bring back Cream City, man.
Well, I actually didn't mind the jerseys. I thought the Bucks jerseys were kind of nice.
Okay.
Yeah, you weren't feeling those?
They just they're fine. I don't know. They kind of look like Tide Pods.
Just 2 dudes out here talking about the Bucks City Edition jersey.
What else you want to see, man?
Oh my god!
Come on, man. I know there's more questions than this, bro. Please.
Reginald says, "Let's facilitate this Jimmy Butler trade." So Doug Smith from the Toronto Star reported or / suggested, he reported that the Raptors would be interested as a facilitator because of all the salaries that they can throw in deals, expiring salaries to be part of the Jimmy Butler trade.
Yeah.
And ideally, as you know, to facilitate it, they can get maybe some draft picks back, et cetera, et cetera. So Jimmy Butler did make his return tonight, and he wore a Michael Jordan 45 jersey on Instagram. this is like his new troll thing. Like,
Hey, can I ask you, when is Jimmy Butler gonna get? Has he crossed over into like a corny territory this year?
Oh, I'm getting to it. Yeah, and
Because
Bernie
we all
Lee,
love Jimmy, man. We have
Bernie,
crazy respect
yeah.
for Jimmy, bro.
His
but,
agent
like,
Bernie Lee put out. You know how when Michael Jordan came back,
mhm.
had that little fax that said "I'm back."
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
recreated that
Mhm.
to announce that Jimmy was back. Yeah, this is not hitting anymore, man. This was hitting when he was doing this in Minnesota,
Mm.
and famously took the third stringers, beat the starters, did an interview with Rachel Nichols on ESPN. I don't think this is hitting. This whole
Yeah.
trolling the Heat thing, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you. It's really, it's not that exciting anymore. Maybe
You
I'm
know,
just over insubordination. I don't know.
wow.
Yeah.
True. Oh, wow. Therapy has really worked for you, sir.
No, therapist is still on mat leave. Yeah.
Hey, man, take care of your
Yeah.
family. As your favorite rapper, Jay-Z said, when I come back like Jordan wearing the 4-5, not to play games with you, I feel like Jimmy Butler's just come back wearing the 4-5 specifically to play games with the Heat. I mean, there's also like Kevin Love's like posting on these videos suggesting that, I guess, everything's okay now and that like Jimmy's back, for them. And like, so I don't know. This is also the same day where Mona Shelburne drops like a bombshell story, basically with sources directly in the team saying that they don't even necessarily want him back. So it's just like needlessly messy. And the funniest thing is like all this is for what? Like a Heat team that's just like
it's a five
mid. Like
it's a five team. And what's different between this Jimmy Butler trade request and like literally any other trade request? Like, what's the difference between this and like James Harden wanting out of Philadelphia or any of this stuff?
Yeah, Herm says Jimmy or farming on a play-in team, which I think is actually a really good way of summing up what's happening right now. Like, it's not moving me, man. It's just he changed his hair color to like the Miami Vice jersey color. I'm like,
I think it's really embarrassing for him, and really for the Heat too, because the Heat have been preaching this Heat culture thing, and in a way that like it's a little bit of like, oh, we're better than other franchises in a way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like we're able to. It's like an elitist type thing. Like we work harder than other teams. We don't have distractions that bother us, and it's like, and it's like no,
on the court.
yeah, but it's like no, you're exactly like any other team.
Yeah,
you're being like super players control the league. Pat Riley can't go to the podium after a season and tell his superstar to shut up
past 10 p.m. man.
Yeah, and no, I respect.
let's be honest here.
No, I respect Pat Riley a lot, but even he went on did an interview with Dan Lebertard recently and was like, "Yeah, maybe I'm washed," because like you can't. No, but like you can't control the players. This is just so the Heat are no different than any other franchise, and I think this has officially crushed the mystique, if anybody really did believe in it, of Heat culture.
Yeah.
Like what does Heat culture mean to you anymore? Like what does that mean to you anymore?
Well, I think Heat culture meant something, and then the person who personified Heat culture has now subverted the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't work out. But I think to the original question of, can the Raptors like get in on here? I'm not like, damn, bro, like even the trade requests, even the trade rumors aren't hitting that hard. I'm like, get in on potentially facilitating a trade. I'm like, woo.
Hey, this is how
I can't wait to potentially facilitate a trade.
To swerve the corner and facilitate a trade. Whoa.
Raptors are like, two people are soaking and the Raptors are shaking the bed. That's what we're trying to do.
No,
man.
Come on, man. Holy. Oh, Jerome, man, where are you at?
Jerome's laughing behind the scenes, dog.
Yeah, man, laughing might be one thing. Oh my God, here he comes. Thank you.
Oh, look at the hair. Everybody in the chat. W's in the chat for Jerome's hair, bro. Look at
W's
him,
in
man.
the chat. We got Blonde Stradamus here, man.
Oh,
hi there.
Blonde Stradamus has joined at.
Oh my goodness.
Braden, hold on. Braden says, we know the team's cooked when Alex is asking, what does Heat culture mean to you? Live.
Oh no.
At 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Can I just click end stream? So what else, Jerome?
What else is there?
What else do we have? So we did do a podcast episode trying to figure out who are the most average players in the NBA, and I have a nomination here about Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent's career trajectory might lead him to be on the NBA All-Average team. But then Donkey, complimentary, this is his actual name, just for the audio only audience.
Complimentary is like allegedly for after you say something terrible.
I'm not referring to someone as Donkey. This is just the username. Says Gary's 30.5 straight game heater. This was back in Tampa.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. No, it was first season back. 48.
Oh, first season back. Okay. Yep. Likely disqualifies him from the all-average team. He also went on a bit of a heater right when he joined the Raptors.
Yeah. He had a 40-point game.
He went off.
He went for 16 for 19, I think, and with a 42-point game against Cleveland. And then he also had a game winner against Raul Neto against the Wizards. I mean, again, this is like you got to be a Tangerine real fan right now. This is how we fan. We reminisce on Tampa Tank days, but yeah.
So I think Gary is kind of a TBD and potentially could end up being slightly above average. Is my thoughts, yeah. But we do have the arbitrator here as well, so
Gary, I feel we're like on the path toward it. Like what's going to steer the ship that like takes him out of average territory? Like what needs to happen?
I guess he would have to have a season where he averaged like 20 plus points. Like a kind of a not the full Norman Powell leap, but like a kind of on that trajectory. Like suddenly he makes a bit of a jump and is a super consistent starter around 20 points.
Yeah. I don't see that happening. That's the thing. I think like the market has spoken loud and clear. Like when Gary goes into free agency and only makes the minimum, and maybe he got a better offer than that, like financially, but he chose to go to Milwaukee because obviously it's a good situation.
Yeah.
To rehab his value, but I feel like the market has basically told him he's mid, which is tough because I really like Gary, man. Shouts to Gary.
Yeah. Like Milwaukee would have been the situation that would have taken him out of average. No.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of like this year's Malik Beasley. Like Malik Beasley was kind of in this exact role for them last year. And then he was able to have a good year shooting the three, and then he cashed out with the Pistons. But it was like a cash out was like $6 million, and also he's Malik Beasley.
Yeah, I see people in the chat asking the criteria for average. So make sure you check out the episode. We
actually did an episode.
We have 10 rules. We have 10 rules on this.
We actually did a real
10 rules and counting
exploration.
We're definitely going to add more as we come up with more reasons.
Right.
Yeah. So another nomination in the chat for average player is Josh Richardson.
This is an amazing pick. I forgot about Josh Richardson. Yeah. But he's been in the league for a while.
Is he still in the league?
Josh Richardson, I want to say he plays for. Oh my god, man! Does he play? Is he back in Miami? I think he's back in Miami. I think I've seen him. Hold on, Josh Richardson, bro, you are back in Miami, aren't you?
While Will looks this up,
let's go. He's back in Miami. I'm a ball knower. He's been there for a year and a half. What?
That makes him perfectly average. The fact that he's back on Miami, I think, really contributes to his case.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, by the way, you remember he was the one going back to Philadelphia when the Heat caught Jimmy Butler.
That's
it
right.
was a sign and trade, and Josh Richardson actually went the other way. The funny thing is, after 2019, Raptors obviously hit the game winner. Kawhi hits the game winner. Embiid crying in the tunnel. Beautiful, beautiful times. That summer, they obviously got rid of their coach. Then they got rid of Jimmy Butler in a sign and trade for Josh Richardson, and then they used all their money to sign Al Horford. That was a crazy crash out by the Sixers. I just gotta say that was a terrible crash.
Josh Richardson is a really good one. I think Josh Richardson definitely qualifies. But we also have submission for Lou Dort. I think Lou is above average.
No, I think he's above.
I think Lou is above average.
As a defender alone.
So one of the rules is the Malcolm Gladwell first 5 seconds eye test or reaction test.
Oh, not the 4 or 5 seconds test.
This is the 4 or 5 second rule.
Are you 4 or 5 seconds from?
This is the Paul McCartney rule.
4 or 5 seconds to averageness.
Basically, is 4 or 5 seconds the most average song at karaoke?
No, it's
actually
well
it's below average.
It's not. It's well below average.
Well, everyone just boos when you put that on every time, man.
Again, we can't go through all the rules. You must go to the feed and listen to the episode. But one of the rules is when the name gets brought up, what's the right away reaction? And it feels like for us, Lou Dort right away feels like above average. So he doesn't qualify.
And even if you made a case somehow that he was average now, there's no way he's going to end up that way. He's had like too much of a variance from where he started.
Even Game 7 against, remember OKC Game 7 when he was
a
rookie?
He went toe to
like 30 points in Game 7
with James
lost
Harden.
the Rockets, but still.
Yeah, in the bubble. So Yeah, he gets disqualified because of the Alec Burks rule. He had an out of body experience.
We got to find another
did.
player other than Alec Burks for that rule.
This one, I feel like it doesn't even count because I don't even think Wes Matthews is in the league anymore. Like, is he still maybe with Atlanta?
He's definitely not in the league.
Wes Matthews, but Wes Matthews would have been a
I
great
would
pick if he's
bet
still in the league.
$3 on Betway that he's not in the league.
You still
anymore.
have $3 on that way?
I feel like he's like 40 now. Not to be a 40-year-old calling someone else 40, but how old is Wes Matthews?
Wes Matthews is 38 years old, and he is actually out of the league. Last year he was with Atlanta, and he's since out. But
I love when he used to sling that arrow, man. After the three. That is my all-time favorite type of 3-point celebration. When the guys sling the arrows. Who was the guy on a 10-day with the Raptors who did that?
Oh, Nigel Hayes.
Yeah, Nigel Hayes. And then Dwayne Casey's like, yeah, you can stay at Madison Square Garden. We don't do that stuff. You're being waived.
Yeah, remember when we used to celebrate? Our third unit was on because we were blowing teams out.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Anthony Carter, that's got to be below average.
Bro, that's below average.
That's
man.
below
Let's
average.
be honest, man. Shout out to Anthony Carter,
Culturally relevant because his agent forgot to submit his paperwork one time for free agency. So then cap space opened up for Miami to sign Lamar Odom. Yeah.
I don't know if that counts as affecting the culture.
This is NBA knowledge that nobody needs to know.
That's not a thing.
This is why you listen to the React Pod, okay? All that, like, oh, like the Raptors, like, this is why they lost tonight, or Darko made a bad challenge. Like, who cares, bro? This is why you tune in.
Raptors,
this is how we fan.
Please start winning so then we can just bring Assad on good internet connection.
Yeah.
I can just sit in the back. What else is there?
Let me give you some suggestions. Okay. The fans have quick yes or no. PJ Washington.
PJ Washington could be there. I feel like he needs
not yet.
He needs to put together like 3 more average seasons.
Yeah.
Also, potentially, if he's a big contributor on a Mavs team that's contending, but he could go on that Dorian Finney-Smith path.
Too early.
You know
to
what?
say,
He is on the Mavs too. That's the funny
he's
thing.
got a
He's
little.
there to replace Dorian Finney-Smith.
He's got a little Finney in him. Yeah, he's a little Finney. Yeah.
Okay,
Finney Cent.
he's on pace. Okay, next one. All-time team for
no,
all average. Evan Turner
is disqualified because the first rule is expectations rule.
Yeah,
he was drafted very high,
second overall,
and was considered a bust early on in his career.
Yeah.
So he really comes in as did not meet expectations, so it's below average.
But you know what? Quality-wise, he is an average player. I do agree with that portion. But you're right. He's disqualified. Okay, next one. Joe Harris.
Joe Harris. Almost below average to me.
He kind of is below average.
Yeah. I feel like there's just not enough in there.
Yeah.
Joe Harris is on the Landry Shamet team of guys who you think has hit a lot of threes, but actually didn't hit a lot of threes.
Yeah.
No,
that's a great team, actually.
I swear to God, if you pull up Joe Harris's numbers, like,
bro, he might be the least reliable 43% 3-point shooter.
He's 43 for his career.
He led the NBA in 3-point percentage 2 years.
Disqualified. League leader rule.
That might disqualify him. But
you can't
I'm not gonna lie. Ultimately, I did feel like not that dangerous when he was shooting.
It's really messing me up how many times Alex uses Landry Shamet as a way to disqualify someone.
That was sick, man. Okay. Yeah. Mason Plumlee's a great call. He has to be the most average center of all time. What do you guys think? Mason Plumlee, average?
I like
Mason Plumlee.
I don't mind
That's
Mason.
The one with the crazy shot.
Yes.
He's
not Miles
relevant
Plumlee,
for
not the other Plumlee.
Well, Jerome makes a good point because it's almost he's below average in that you can't even separate him from the other Plumlee. That almost makes him below average to me.
Well, I was gonna just say has like a wild shot, so like that alone makes him stand out. Like you can make a highlight of just him shooting.
Yeah. The other rules you can't have a 1 minute or any highlight reel made of you.
Yeah.
So Mason Plumlee just slightly misses.
Okay, so I would say Mason Plumlee, he did go in the dunk contest one year.
Okay. See, no,
might be the first white center
to
to be in the dunk contest.
What did he do? Like... Just grab the ball with 2 hands and throw it down?
I think pretty close to that.
He took off his warm up and he revealed the Tyler Hansbrough jersey.
Please make a note. We should watch past dunk contests as content.
Oh, without question.
Oh hell yeah. Man. Yeah.
The dunk contest rule though, just because the dunk contest of late has such
there's
they just don't have stars.
Yeah.
You can be in the dunk contest and still be an average player. It's
Oh,
just in
yeah,
our Hamidou Diallo rule was he won it.
He did
So-
win. You're right.
So that
You're
was
right.
the key.
I don't
Yeah,
even think he made
that's-
it out
yeah.
of the first round of the dunk contest.
That's the accolades
Right.
rule. Like you make any like all NBA team, you win a dunk contest, things like that.
If anything, us not knowing what Mason Plumley did in the dunk contest helps his cause for being an average player.
Yeah,
Can I
think
also
that's-
remind you that Mason Plumley did win the FIBA World Cup with Team USA?
Yeah,
It
but
was-
what did he do on that team?
He rebounded. What do you
But
think he
this-
does?
this-
man?
He
He
grabbed the
screens
ball
and
with 2
rebounds.
hands. Yo,
That's
like-
also where
He rebounded and
international
kicked it
rule
up to
doesn't
Kyrie,
apply.
man.
oh my god. Yeah, international rule.
Mm.
Because
in
that
play.
won't in any way help his cause for making a Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah. But by the way, remember when Jeremy Evans of the Jazz won
Oh yeah.
the dunk contest?
Dude, that was a
With
great
the
dunk.
painting?
Yeah, with
That
a
was a
painting.
great dunk. It was an Inception painting because the painting was him
Was the
dunking
dunk.
over
Yeah.
a painting of himself dunking over a painting of himself. dunking over a
Jeremy
painting.
Stradamus.
Yeah.
that didn't work.
That's sick,
No,
man.
Blanc-
We talk about
Stradamus-
Jeremy Evans, man.
No, we talk about El Farouk Aminu.
Ooh,
Nominated in the chat.
Now we're cooking. Yeah, he's no longer in the league.
That is an amazing one.
That's a great pick, though.
Oh my
I think Al
goodness, man.
Farouk Aminu hits all the spots.
The funniest thing with Al Farouk Aminu is 1 year the Portland Trailblazers had to complete the sentence. And I think it was like a word association game. And so the word was snow. And so people had like, skiing, people had like boarding, snowboarding, people had like, snowball, whatever, snow cone. And he just wrote the word bunny.
Oh, boy.
I'm not even kidding. You can look this up.
Yo,
man.
he might be,
goodness.
that might make him culturally relevant, man.
No.
No,
You
no,
can't.
no, 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 no,
We,
no, no.
that's not a culturally relevant move.
We have Bismack Biyombo.
Bro,
when
no.
he-
Disagree.
No, but
full disagree.
Bismack out of body
No.
experience in the playoffs against the Cavs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Earned him a
In the conference
huge contract afterward.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that he hits the Alec Burks rule, so he's out because
Sure.
he did have the out of body. Wasn't it like 20 some rebounds, 28, 22? I'm just making up numbers.
He had 26 rebounds.
Okay, wow. Couldn't hit that on
in a
Betway.
playoff game. Yeah. I just went into StatMuse right now to look up.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I don't trust StatMuse. Never mind, man. Maybe I'm just doing the wrong queries. Okay. TJ McConnell, average backup point guard. But
TJ McConnell is there, man.
Bro,
I
he's
think
kinda
he's
like the-
slightly above average. I think he's slightly because like
he's
could.
like the John Stockton of a backup
'Cause-
point guards, though.
does
He's an
he pass-
exceptional
Yeah.
backup.
Does he pass the crunch time? Because the crunch time rule is like average guys don't get the ball in the last 5 minutes. TJ,
Right.
you could run a play for TJ in crunch time.
I've seen
I don't know
TJ score crunch time buckets.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think it hits him. I think it puts him above average.
By the way, this one I really wanted to highlight from earlier. Markieff and Marcus Morris, when they're around for sure, are both twins mid.
Just I want to round back really quickly to Bismack Biyombo just
Okay.
as a way for a thing to qualify. You can't go from a $2.8 million contract to a $17 million contract if you're an
Right.
average player.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
I think
Yeah.
TJ McConnell is squarely like above average. He's almost in that above average white guys team, like a Peyton Pritchard for me.
No, man. Peyton Pritchard's on our holy trinity this year, man.
Oh yeah. That's you.
Yeah,
and
take
Sam
Reed Shepard off that list, by the
I
way.
don't-
He has
I
not
don't-
done anything this
I
year.
don't-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Reed's out.
Yeah, Reed's out. And so is
Okay,
Austin,
he's
actually.
Anyone else? Anyone else get nominated? Oh yeah. Okay. Here's a George Hill,
Ooh,
but culturally relevant potentially for missing those
man,
free
that's good.
throws in the finals, missing that free throw in the finals.
Also
led
for
to the
that
J.R. Smith game.
Pacers like photo shoot.
Yes, Pacers
Oh,
photo
yeah,
shoot, GQ
sure.
curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise he really.
you know what?
George.
George
maybe-
Hill's biggest moment, right? George Hill's biggest moment was the fact that he got traded on draft night for Kawhi Leonard.
Yes.
Yeah. George Hill just doesn't pass the Malcolm Gladwell test.
What's
Yeah.
the test again?
Eye
Like
test.
when you just say the name, like what
Okay.
does it hit you right away that feels like he's average? Yeah.
George Hill, yeah.
Because there's also a thing about George Hill is like that.
Mhm.
There were moments in his career where people really thought George Hill was going to be a difference maker.
Yes.
Teams kept trading for him like he was gonna
So
be the difference
that's
maker.
not an average
Expectations
player.
too. Yeah,
Right.
expectations.
That's not an average player.
There were
right.
yeah.
The thing that's really frustrating, which I understand, because I actually talked to Catherine Niker
Yep.
before for doing buckets and tea,
Shouts.
going over this average thing, and she was naming people, and I would disqualify them based off our various criteria, and you
know.
could see her visibly get mad at me.
Yeah, this is sick. By
someone
the way,
in the
our
chat
viewership
also-
is climbing. The more we're naming average players versus recapping
Yo, once
Raptors
again,
games,
I've been trying to push
our-
this idea out to the public for
we're
6
getting
months,
views
man.
from the 6 over
I
Patrick
love
Patterson.
having one good idea a year, man.
Yeah.
Someone did mention, yes, Kyle famously tried to crawl between George Hill's legs.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, George Hill is almost a Jeff Teague in that he's been involved in a lot of stuff.
Well,
Like, he's
yeah.
just always on like involved with a lot of NBA moments. So.
Wasn't
George
he teammates
Hill-
with Jeff Teague?
Was he?
Maybe.
Was Teague ever in Indiana? Teague definitely was in Indiana.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Um.
Okay, we got DeLon Wright as well. Oh yeah, so you were
DeLon
on-
Wright is definitely average.
you're on
Like,
Yeah,
Bucket.
I would say so. That's
Do
fair.
you remember any what were some of the names that Catherine nominated? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. Like it was because we were just like chatting before the show. It
but a
wasn't,
lot
like,
of them
I know
were
that-
disqualified.
Yeah, for like those like various reasons like that, and
Yeah.
the same reaction that like we would have when we were talking before we actually did the episode, where we'd say a name and you'd say no because of this, and we're just like,
Yeah, it's so frustrating when you think you have a good average
Yeah.
player.
Yo, I'm dying at this. Ed Davis, average name 2.
that's average name is good.
Ed Davis.
Yo, Ed Davis
Ed
really
Davis
does.
is average name.
Ed Davis sounds like a cop, man.
That's a referee ass name.
Yeah,
That is.
exactly. Ed Davis should
That
be.
is.
Ed Davis
going
is
to the
more of a
monitor right
referee
now.
name than Mark Davis.
Ed Davis.
is
Oh,
killing me.
Wayne Ellington.
Yeah, good one.
Wayne Ellington.
Wayne
Yo, bro, that guy
Ellington.
used to
Solid.
torch the Raptors, man.
Wayne,
Solid.
you know
Wayne Ellington has like
Ellington?
2 or 3 Gerald Hendersons under his belt.
If
No
you guys
problem.
play-
Is Gerald Henderson an average player?
No, he's
No, okay.
actually
Okay.
disqualified just because of the
Culturally-
moments he
because
had
of the
against the
torch.
Raptors.
Okay. because
Culturally
of the torching.
relevant.
Okay.
Culturally relevant. Yeah, Wayne Ellington was a problem in NBA 2K11 too, man.
That's
Ronnie
insane.
Stuckey, no for looking like 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Yo,
Instant,
Ronnie.
instant
That's
disqualification.
it. That's it. It's sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why did he look like that, man?
Yo,
That's
not
the shit.
Garrison Matthews. Why does he sound like
No.
the lieutenant of the
That's Austin Matthews' cousin.
of the first battalion?
Salute.
Yeah, how did someone like see a newborn baby and was like, let me name him after? Let me
In
call him something
Flanders
about-"
Fields, Garrison Matthews
is like
stood.
Garrison is insane.
Garrison Matthews is like the Landry Shamet of Joe Harris's. Man.
That's a crazy
That's
bar.
a crazy bar.
Like,
Yo.
Raptors, please win, man.
Yo,
please win some games.
Tony Snell,
Absolutely
Too
not, because he
relevant.
has too relevant.
He's got the
too
meme.
relevant. The meme is
Literally,
actually
there's a Tony
single-handedly
Snell game.
disqualifies him.
There's
Yeah.
a Tony
But otherwise,
Snell game.
absolutely.
Oh,
This
sorry. we keep on
Linus
clicking.
Glazer.
Below? Is it below?
Below.
average?
Linus Glazer.
He
Linus
had some
Glazer played like he was
expectations.
really nice. Like you know
He
what I
had
mean?
some
Like
expectations.
Yeah.
I actually like I kind of like Linus Glazer back in the day. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Unfortunately, Brian Colangelo believing in Linus Glazer ruins his chance of being an average player in
No.
our ranking.
No, that's fair. Anything
I've
else?
been trying to show.
Oh, shoot, my-
I've been trying to show Jared
Freak it out.
Jack.
Oh yeah, Jared
for forever.
Jack.
Jared Jack kills me because I'm convinced Jared Jack is like 10% Chinese, like Neo is. Someone look up Jared Jack's lineage. I
Because of the
swear
eyes?
this guy's 10% Chinese,
my God.
like
The
Neo.
eyes. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't have to vocalize it, Alex.
Utter woke.
We all knew what we were talking about.
Utter woke nonsense.
You're talking about the
Some things
entire
can be
Spanish
left
national
unsaid.
team?
Oh man. Yeah, Jared Jack.
Oh, my God.
I think Jared Jack could make it.
I mean, Jared Jack would totally make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jared Jack.
Jack has a case.
Has a
Definitely
case.
has.
There's
Sick
a
name
case.
though, man. Also, remember we
Yeah.
signed him because he was Chris Bosh's roommate in Texas
Yeah. This is like
or Georgia Tech. Sorry, Georgia Tech.
who did we have and we thought we were gonna get KD? Gravis Vasquez. Happy
Gravis
birthday.
Vasquez. Also, by the way, Gravis Vasquez.
Happy belated.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Gravis Vasquez. Yo, let's get Gravis Vasquez on the pod, man.
No.
Okay.
Boris Diaw's too good.
Boris,
No.
yeah, way too good for this.
No,
Way
he's too
too
nice.
good.
Unfortunately, bro. Did someone say Dwight Bikes? I haven't heard that name in years.
I haven't
man.
heard that since you confused a person for white bikes. That's
It
something.
wasn't. You know what? That was not necessarily me. That was also Lee Man. That's 50-50.
Amir Johnson.
Too
No.
beloved.
Okay. Oh my
Ho-
god.
Homer doesn't allow it to happen. We can't.
Yeah. Also, doesn't strike me as just like super average. Like a little bit.
Oh,
Above.
man, was Amir
don't
Johnson
know.
average? I mean, he probably.
He
kinda
might be
was.
average,
He might
though.
be,
Kinda
but it,
was.
like he can't be on a Toronto
Yeah,
Raptors.
bias rule.
Yeah,
we
bias
can't.
rule.
We can't rule on this.
Wow, you
This-
guys. Evidently,
well,
we
this
haven't
is-
seen his
again-
win shares per 48, bro. Amir Johnson is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Joel Prisbilla.
Ghost
Ghost
who had the
face
same hair as
Prisbilla.
Jerome right now.
There you go.
Face Prisbilla. Yeah.
Oh.
Like that one. All right.
Yeah.
We could once again we could do this forever.
We literally could do this all day.
Oh yeah, I had to cut our pod yesterday because.
Oh, yeah.
we're
No, you had to cut our pod after the pod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
When we stopped.
I love this.
You guys
by the
are
way.
naming. You guys
the
are
Toronto
naming.
Maple Leafs.
Oh my
That's
God.
hard.
No, but they're
Yo, we
below,
can't sign
right?
the best team in the city, man. Okay, by the way, can you explain what happened with the Blue Jays today? Like, what happened? Alex, you're a big Jays
so
fan.
the Blue Jays were going after a Japanese pitcher, Roki Sasaki, and because of the Major League Baseball rules, he basically could only sign a minor league contract. Like you couldn't.
What? Okay.
He was capped. Like he's capped out depending on how much international money each team can spend. So it wasn't like an Otani thing where you could throw like 500 million at him. So it wasn't really a bidding war. It was him choosing the team that he really wanted to go to.
Okay.
And then it was down to the Dodgers and Jays again. So it's
Yo.
but then what happened was the Blue Jays
No.
traded for an outfielder making like $15 million who isn't even in the major league anymore from Cleveland.
So we took
this
a salary
morning.
dump.
To add $2 more million to their international pool money. So
Okay.
they bought $2 million in extra money
Okay.
So
to
wait,
offer
they spent $15 million to get an extra $2 million.
to offer to this Japanese pitcher,
Brother.
to Sasaki, and then Sasaki announced that he was signing with the Dodgers. So like Jays fans are like crashing out because this is basically like Otani, like all over again. But there was actually something hilarious that came out of this. So last week Sasaki was at the Rogers Center, like visiting the Jays. I think he threw off the mound. So then Ben Nicholson
Threw off the mound.
So
Okay.
Ben Nicholson Smith from
Alright.
Sportsnet wrote an article about it because it was a it was a low key meeting, not publicized, right? So he said he said report on Monday morning emerged after attendees at Baseball Canada's annual awards banquet hosted at Rogers Center told Sportsnet they saw a player fitting Sasaki's description working out on the field. And then no, here's a paragraph.
They're like, there's an Asian pitching right now.
No, wait for
Scoops.
this. One video shown at Sportsnet, shot from a distance, featured a pitcher throwing on a flat ground with what one baseball person described as a Japanese-style delivery.
What do you do? Hit him with
What
a
is-
katana?
I hate to break it to you, that was Jarrett Jack.
Yo, no, but like, how are you? Yo, is that racist?
hold on.
Or what?
Hold
Like,
on.
How are you
You're
gonna say he looked like a Japanese pitch? It looked like a Japanese style delivery. What is this?
He threw it and he
When
said,
I order-
hi.
Yo, what is this?
What?
When I order from Kibo?
Oh no.
Yo, the sources say a sushi roll fell out of his pocket.
No,
No.
but I need the chat. I need the chat
No
to
way.
tell me too. Like, is that
We don't
bad
need the
to-
chat to try to figure out what a Japanese style delivery is. I'm
No,
just gonna
but
say that
is
right
that
now.
bad?
He
Like,
karate the ball.
Oh
I
gosh.
couldn't believe it. It's a Japanese style delivery.
Oh,
Like,
God.
what makes a Japanese pitcher's delivery different from like a North American pitcher? It's a leg kick and a
Ain't no
potential
way.
torn labrum every time.
Oh
you
my
throw.
goodness, man.
Yeah.
No, this is amazing, man. I love how this is supposed to be a clandestine, low key meeting, and yet they had another group inside of the building for this.
Yeah. This is
Like,
like,
what
yeah,
are
it's
we
like an open
doing,
gym
yo?
crew was just like filming when like
Oh.
Kawhi Leonard somehow came in for a secret workout to come
Yeah.
back to the Raptors or something.
So what are the Jays saying then? Like, we just have nothing.
I think
Like,
we're just
basically
taking an
took-
L, no?
Yeah, basically took on like 13 million for a backup outfielder for no reason. Because this is like, I guess the basketball comp for you
This
is
is
like,
actually
you
Bruce
know,
Brown. This is the Bruce Brown trade. right
well,
here.
kind of, but it's like, when the Clippers traded all of that Shea and draft picks to
Uh-huh.
get Paul George, but they're like, nah, like we actually traded for Paul George and Kawhi. Like the concept would be,
Right.
we took on all this dead money, but we
Yeah.
were gonna get this super good pitcher.
right.
But instead they didn't. So
Yo, this is just trading Shea
well,
for
basically,
Paul George.
basically everyone is laughing at like the
Uh.
Jays are like the laughing stock right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, like
man.
Sick.
the laughing stock. And now that's down to like extend Vladimir Guerrero because
We can't even sign our own players.
Vladimir Guerrero has said that there's a certain dollar amount that will get it done. He wants to stay
It's
in.
probably going to be 700 million.
Does he
man.
still live in your building, Alex? Can you make this happen?
Yo, he about to buy your whole building, man. You got a new landlord.
But like I think it'll like 400 to 500 million will get it done. Yeah. Why are we talking baseball, man?
No, this is
Yo,
crazy.
it's a 1 hour mark. Let's wrap it up.
Okay, let's start wrapping it up.
Yeah. So
Is
that's
it?
it. That's it.
Wow.
The update for you is that it's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
right now to be a Jays fan.
Yeah.
But shouts to Ali Khan and all our friends at the Jays.
No, we
We'll
support
be
the
looking
Jays.
for
We
those
want the
opening
Jays to
days.
be good.
Yeah.
let's
We
go,
want
man.
the Jays to be good.
Let's go, Jays
We,
game.
we need something to do this summer.
Yeah.
I love going to Jays games in the
Yeah.
summer. You know what I mean? Like, but you know,
Do you?
yeah, because those tickets be free.
Yo, how do you hide this thing so I can go to Betway?
I'm gonna hide the current comment. There we go.
There
Okay,
we go.
need to get,
All right, what do you
change
got?
our
What do you got?
banner too. Do we?
By the way, thanks everyone for sending in comments. This is why you got to be
no.
watching these things live, because you got to
Yeah.
send in your submissions. It's actually a really fun time. I haven't even unveiled to you the second edition of the all average team. The sequel is the non-stars, the players who are
yeah,
really good,
the CJ
but
McCollum,
not all-star
the
levels.
CJ McCollum All Stars.
The CJ McCollum
Just make sure
non-stars.
Zach Lowe hasn't done that. I feel like Zach Lowe really owns that corner.
Because the player has to be really good on any given night. They can give you a great performance, like a
Yeah.
DeJounte Murray, but they're
Yeah.
a non-star. Yeah,
It's
we'll,
like
we'll do that
best-
on a future episode.
Best sidekicks, basically. Okay, that
I
way.
like the sidekick to the sidekick. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you know, Will.
Yo,
So one of the great things about
let's go.
our presenting sponsor, Betway, is you don't just get basketball betting
Oh, are you
on
kidding?
there. All sports, I don't know if you know, I'm a big NFL guy, so I'll be locked in watching football this weekend. Go Bills. And also, they do a lot with the Premier League. And I know right now, Liverpool,
yeah.
your team, Liverpool, is top of the table with 47 points.
We be dropping points though recently.
4 clear of Arsenal? Yes.
Arsenal, but with the game
Fourth
in
clear
hand.
of
With the game
Arsenal.
in hand, to be clear.
And I don't know how this team called Nottingham Forest is in 3rd place right now. So, yeah,
Hey man,
41.
they're pretty good. They
Shout
Liverpool
out
played them
Richie
to a draw
Larea.
recently.
Who? Oh, that's a Canadian.
He's not
Okay.
there anymore, but
He's
yeah.
not there anymore. He was there for
He's
a
back
minute.
at TSC, buddy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
But
Liverpool is
yeah.
playing either tomorrow or Sunday, who knows, this weekend
Sure.
against Brentford. And
Yes.
Liverpool, the favorite in the Premier League right now, is 1.42 odd to beat Brentford. Who is your pick, Will, for this matchup?
Liverpool really needs the points right now. They've only had one loss this season, and it is to the aforementioned Nottingham Forest, which is pretty incredible. But they're kind of the surprise of the season. But they have drawn a lot recently. They drew to Nottingham Forest recently as well after going down 1-0. They came back to at least draw that game. Yeah, I mean, they need the 3 points. So I'm going to back Liverpool here. Unfortunately, Diego Jota has picked up another
You sound like
small
Matt Devlin.
injury.
They need
so-
these 3 points.
We need this. Liverpool for 3. Bang. So yeah, I'm gonna back my squad. Shouts to Liverpool.
Okay, so we're gonna
Yeah.
take Liverpool 1.42 to win the match. Another separate player prop if you want.
Oh, we lost to Fulham too. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I
Yeah.
try to erase that game from my memory. Yeah.
Mo Salah 3+ shots on target is 3.75 odd. If you're into that as well, so make sure you hit the QR code below. Check out Betway for all your sports betting needs.
Sick, man.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
What happened to that 6-pack you were supposed to provide, man? What happened to that 6-pack, bro?
Yeah, I had a whole 6-pack, but we were just talking average players. Also, why are you trying
Guys.
to start a new pod again?
Guys, I have an update here.
Oh, hell yeah.
Update.
So,
What you got?
from one of our fans, Coco, just DM me. So sometimes with YouTube, while they're going over whatever the video is, it will generate like a description. So
Okay.
like for search queries. And because we've been doing this live as it is, I don't know if we can see it clearly, but it just
Read it for
has
us?
a long here. Let me read it for you off the other screen.
Yeah.
Viewers are discussing NBA players, including Jared Jack, Alex Caruso, Jonte Porter, Davis Bertans, Dwight Bikes, Alvin Williams, Amir Johnson, Bruce Brown, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, Dario Saric, Zach Collins, Shake Milton, and Brandon Bass. That's the chat summary right now.
Oh my
Yeah, these-
god! Who
So
was
sick.
talking about Brandon Bass? That is an average player right there.
Yeah,
man.
I did see Bass in the chat. Bass is a really good one, man.
Got that boom, 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 boom. Brandon Bass, Brandon Bass.
I think the conclusion
Oh
is
my god! No way.
the Mavericks have just had a lot of average ass players over the years.
The Mavs have had average players.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who else was on that list that I really like? There's a couple of good ones on that
We
list.
can get
Yeah.
to that on one of the many episodes we have left for this season.
On to the awards.
On to the
It's
awards.
onto the awards as I've been shuffled along because my friends would like to have the rest of their Friday evenings here. Your 3 stars from this performance, totally forgettable. But first star, Kelly Olynyk. Again, NBA teams, if you need a spacing 5, somebody who can pass the ball, shoot the ball well. Obviously, you got to protect them a little bit defensively. But like, imagine if you had that, extra big on your roster, and you only need to give up, a prospect or a pick. Let's get that done. Kelly Olynyk tonight showed what he can do. 5 of 7. Actually, Darko basically played him in place of Jakob for much of the second half. He did a really good job. So shouts to Kelly, and I'm hoping, honestly, physically for him, that he's feeling a lot better because a bad back is just nothing to play with. Your second star is Bruce Brown, another fantastic veteran who can certainly help a number of teams in the association. We are talking about a former champion who is also a style icon when it comes to Bruce Brown. You need league fits to take a little bit of a notice of your team. If you're a team in a small market who does not get a lot of coverage, a great way to get coverage is Bruce Brown. Not only are you getting an all-star player, or not an all-star player, but a former champion, but a player who can be quite productive. And tonight he actually played really well, 17 points. Did a lot of good stuff that he always does. Unselfish, cuts to the basket, an occasional 3 here or there. A couple of plays off the dribble. Some pretty good pressure defense. Bruce Brown's a really nice player, and per sources, you could get him right now. And then of course RJ Barrett, your third star. RJ, you can't really get him, but 21 points, 10 assists for RJ in 29 minutes. 7 of 16 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. It was nice to see him knock down some threes. That was great. It was also really funny. I love when NBA teams are giving away free food.
Oh yeah,
because
What
the
was
Bucks
it
have-
wings tonight? Was it wings or no?
The Bucks, yeah, I think it's like a Wingstop promotion, but basically, if a player in the fourth quarter misses 2 free throws
Yeah.
consecutively in the fourth quarter, everyone in the arena goes home with free chicken. And so RJ Barrett actually, it didn't change the game whatsoever. And I'm sure he didn't do this intentionally, but yeah, he gave everybody free chicken in
Idea for
Milwaukee.
teams like do this in the playoffs for all 4 quarters. Like your home crowd will go crazy. They're probably gonna go crazy anyways because it's the playoffs. But like, come on, man.
By the way, I was informed by a friend of the program, Johnson, who may or may not, he's probably listening to this too. He's a diehard fan. Johnson actually messaged me and he alerted me to the fact that how the Raptors have a promotion with McDonald's.
Yeah, is it 12 threes?
That's right. So it's a Beyond the Arch promotion. It's like
Yeah.
12 threes for you to get free medium fries, I think, the next day or something, maybe with a purchase or something. But like that has been the promotion for the longest time. I remember like even in the championship season, I think they were still doing this.
Yeah, my mom was eating fries every day.
Exactly. Because we used to make 12 threes, no problem, because we had shooting.
Yeah.
I regret to actually not regret. I'm happy to inform you that has been brought down to 10. McDonald's said the Raps aren't hitting enough threes.
They've era adjusted their promotion.
In a league where everyone's shooting more threes, McDonald's is like, nah.
Shouts to Johnson, man. Mr.
Just
Highway,
10 is
Mr.
enough.
Highway 7. Yeah, there's
by the
Mr.
way-
Worldwide and there's Mr. Highway 7.
Those are 2 people that are in your life. And unfortunately, the Raptors did not provide those free fries tonight. Only 8 threes, but RJ did his best. He was trying to feed both communities, man. Toronto and Milwaukee. He gave them free chicken. He gave the Raptors 3 threes, but no McDonald's fries for this game. Your Gerald Henderson Award winner, that is going to go to none other than who am I going to give this to, man? Yeah. Let's give it to Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis had a nice game off the bench. Felt like the mid-range, he was just super deadly with it. But you could pick any number of guys on this list, honestly. The Bucks had a lot of players play well. Shouts to Torian Prince, by the way, who would certainly be on the all-average team.
Orion?
It's just a lot of vowels in a short name, man. Like,
I love how Torian Prince and Darvin Ham are like this generation's Tobias Harris and Boban. They're just linked together, best friends on every team.
Yo, we got over 1,000 viewers right now. This is hard. Let's go. Live
where's-
audience loves this.
where's
They
the
must
blue
have heard that we were listing average players.
Where's the
including
Blue
Tangerine
Sky
Fan Inbox.
live stream, man? Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see, man. Let's get on Xiaohongshu. I've had several Chinese friends actually offer me to set up this account for us.
I'm on
which
that
is,
app right now, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I can't
Oh,
change my
word?
username because it's like you need a.
What's your
Num-
username, man?
I
Is
don't,
it your Chinese name that I can't
don't
say
know.
out loud?
No, it's not. But like, yeah, there's a lot of functions I can't use because I guess like you need a Chinese phone number or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, hey, lastly, of course, it's time now for the most important guy. And honestly, like Raps defensively have not really lived up to the nickname of the most important guy, which is what the spirit of the award is. But I got you know that Toronto, if you're looking for a place, the ultimate place to watch the Raptors and to level up your night, you got to check out Greta on 590 King Street West. This
Big
place is
G.
next level. Think Mario Kart, Pop-A-Shot, all the classic arcade games that you love. And here's the thing, Greta's not just about the games. It's also the spot for pregame hype, postgame celebration, or even catching every bucket and dunk and buzzer beater with you and your crew. Great food, great drinks, and a vibe that screams fun. And whether you're repping the Raptors or just wanting to go crush your friends in some games, Greta is where it's at. Pull up to Greta where the game doesn't stop even after the buzzer. Most important guy for a game like this. I don't know, man. Who is the most important guy, man? I forgot all about this game after talking about it. Most important guy is Bobby Webster, man. Take this game tape of Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown and just pass it around the league. You know what I mean? Every GM, I think, needs to be aware of what happened tonight between those two. And against the team in Milwaukee who are contenders with an asterisk. But contenders. Well, look
Yeah.
what these two did to a contender, all right? Let the teams know. That's all.
God, it's really desperate around here right now.
Oh man, we are doing our very best here. We are trying to entertain you as much as possible. You can obviously catch us live after games on YouTube, on Twitter as well. Make sure we got to take some Twitter questions next time because shouts to people watching on Twitter as well.
Leave your questions on Twitter. We see them all the same in this chat.
And the thing is, like, yo, I'm gonna try to talk about the Raps game, but when that stuff is over, man, like, we're just gonna have a good time. We're gonna have fun. You see, I'm making Alex work every night now. You know,
We gotta start advertising these React pods on our main show. Let people know that it just goes
It's a vibe.
goes into banter pod mode.
It's a vibe.
Because
Yeah,
I
if you
people
enjoy
feel
Banter Pod, yeah.
because I feel like people after losses sometimes maybe not as incentivized to like tap
Sure.
in just because of the way the
Bro,
season
it
is
gets
going.
better after losses, man.
We got to do some PR on the React pod. Yeah,
I agree.
We got to get some PR going on this.
I agree. I mean, do you need to do PR on the #1 basketball show in Canada
Oh,
all season long? By the way,
Oh shoot, this man's feeling himself.
No, I'm just I don't know.
Yeah, damn man. Okay,
People might
okay,
know, but
okay.
it was a fun
Hove.
time.
Okay,
It's your boy.
this guy
It's your
said
boy.
he's held it down for 8 summers. All right, we gotta get out of here, man.
Somebody did say they wanted a Doc Rivers voice before we go, so maybe you can read out our show and close it out as Doc Rivers.
No, I'm not. I'm not taking Doc Rivers requests.
Go ahead and dance.
You know what? No.
Just no.
Whoever asked, I super
It was
appreciate
Clayton,
you.
man.
Yo, Clayton, I love you, bro.
Yo, hit us with the
Clayton.
Doc voice.
Clayton sent me a Jays jacket too.
Oh, okay.
One time, speaking
So
of
you
the
can't send him.
Jays.
You can't send
Yo,
him a little Doc voice.
No, Clayton, I'll give you a Doc voice on one of these shows when it's like
Wow.
a natural transition. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I got you.
unfortunately, we can't deliver. Unfortunately, we can't deliver.
Yo, Clayton, I love
Okay.
you.
I can't believe it, man. All right. Thanks all for listening. This has been the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. And yeah, Raptors actually don't play again until Tuesday. So
You know, Bill.
Oh,
That's it.
you know, Bill, that Kelly Olynyk was real impressive against us. So, yeah, we'll be back though Monday with a fresh episode. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, if you had a lot of fun listening to this one about the most average players, we actually did a whole discussion about this, and it was actually just a really, really insightful and engaging discussion. So, thanks everyone for listening, and yeah, we'll catch you next week.